Rachel Reeves, Labour's Chancellor of the Exchequer, is at the centre of a political storm so explosive that it threatens to derail her career and cast a long shadow over Labour's fragile government. The scandal started when Guido Fawkes revealed that Reeves may have falsified key details about her career, specifically her time at the Bank of England. What she claimed was a 10-year tenure has now been exposed as just 6 years, igniting accusations of dishonesty and raising questions about her suitability for the critical role of Chancellor. Former Sun editor Kelvin Mackenzie didn't mince words, declaring Reeves is done for and suggesting her survival would make her a wounded beast whose credibility would haunt the Labour Party. This isn't just about a fudged CV, it's about trust, integrity, and the competence of Labour's leadership. But that's not all. As this scandal unfolds, Labour is simultaneously battling a devastating backlash over punitive new taxes on diesel drivers, while Jacob Rees-Mogg is slamming their failures on immigration and justice in a fiery tirade against foreign criminals being protected by human rights laws. Labour promised change, integrity and competence, but as these scandals pile up, cracks are forming in their promises. What's next for Rachel Reeves? How deep does the dishonesty run? And will Labour survive this perfect storm of controversy? Stay tuned, because this drama is only just beginning. In just the last 24 hours, even more bombshells have dropped. As new evidence emerges, Reeves' defenders are finding themselves on increasingly shaky ground. Meanwhile, Labour's new tax reforms are sparking outrage from small business owners and drivers nationwide. And Jacob Rees-Mogg has issued his most scathing critique yet, accusing Labour of prioritising foreign criminals over British citizens. If you're as shocked as we are, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. This scandal is spiralling out of control, and you'll want to stay updated on every jaw-dropping twist. At the heart of Labour's latest crisis is Rachel Reeves's alleged embellishment of her CV. In a 2021 interview, Reeves confidently stated that she spent a decade at the Bank of England, a cornerstone of her professional credentials. Yet her own LinkedIn profile contradicts this claim, showing she worked there for 6 years, from 2000 to 2006. Her time was split between 3 roles: the International Economic Analysis Division, a secondment to the British Embassy in Washington, and the Structural Economic Analysis Division. While some might argue this discrepancy is a minor error, critics say it points to a deeper issue, a willingness to distort facts for political gain. Kelvin Mackenzie described the situation as astonishing and warned that Reeves's position as Chancellor is untenable. This isn't a small mistake, it's a calculated misrepresentation, and if she's lying about this, what else is she hiding? The timing couldn't be worse for Labour. Just 5 months into their tenure, Reeves was supposed to be their financial anchor, the steady hand guiding Britain through turbulent economic waters. Now, with her credibility in tatters, even Labour insiders are questioning whether she can continue. Downing Street has been quick to defend her. Starmer's team lauded Reeves for uncovering a £22 billion black hole in public finances upon taking office and insisted she's been straight with the public. But for many, this defence rings hollow. If the scandal grows, potentially involving a breach of the ministerial code, Reeves's resignation may become unavoidable. While Rachel Reeves fights for her career, Labour faces another firestorm over controversial tax reforms targeting diesel drivers. Under the new policy, double cab pickups, a popular choice for small businesses, will no longer be classified as commercial vehicles. Instead, they'll be taxed as regular cars, leading to a staggering 5-fold increase in taxes for many owners. The reforms, set to take effect in April 2025, introduce a benefit-in-kind (BIK) tax system based on CO2 emissions. Vehicles emitting 160 grams per kilometre or more will fall into the highest tax bracket, with diesel vehicles facing additional surcharges if they don't meet environmental standards. For small business owners and fleet operators, this is a financial disaster. Many relied on pickups as cost-effective vehicles that served both business and personal needs. Now they're being hit with crippling tax hikes that could make their operations unsustainable. One furious fleet operator told Fleet UK, "Labour is supposed to be the party of working people, but they've betrayed us. This will destroy small businesses across the country." Even with transitional relief for vehicles purchased before April 2025, the backlash has been overwhelming. Labour insists the reforms are necessary to meet environmental goals, but critics argue they're disproportionately targeting the working class. Social media is ablaze with anger, with many accusing Labour of hypocrisy. For a party that campaigned on easing the cost of living crisis, the optics couldn't be worse. Adding fuel to the fire, Jacob Rees-Mogg has launched a scathing attack on Labour's handling of immigration and justice. Over the weekend, it was revealed that a convicted paedophile and illegal migrant from the Democratic Republic of Congo had avoided deportation due to a ruling by the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR. The man, who sexually abused 3 young girls, including his own stepdaughter, was allowed to remain in the UK because deporting him would violate his right to a family life. Rees-Mogg didn't hold back, calling this a grotesque failure of governance. "This is what happens when unaccountable bureaucrats in Strasbourg dictate our laws," he said. Labour's refusal to address this system shows they care more about criminals than British families. This isn't an isolated case. Rees-Mogg highlighted similar examples, including a Nigerian drug dealer, an Indian paedophile, and a Syrian bank robber, all of whom avoided deportation due to ECHR rulings. These stories have sparked outrage, with many Britons demanding reform of human rights laws that seem to prioritise criminals over victims. Rees-Mogg's accusations cut deep, especially as Labour struggles to present itself as tough on crime. For many voters, the party's reluctance to challenge the ECHR underscores its disconnect from public sentiment. The scandals engulfing Labour are more than just isolated incidents. They're symptomatic of a party struggling to navigate the realities of governance. Rachel Reeves's CV debacle has shattered her credibility, raising questions about the integrity of Labour's leadership. The diesel tax reforms have alienated a key voter base, undermining Labour's claim to represent working-class Britain. And Jacob Rees-Mogg's fiery rhetoric has exposed vulnerabilities in Labour's approach to immigration and justice. For Sir Keir Starmer, the stakes couldn't be higher. Labour's victory in the last election was built on promises of integrity, competence, and a fresh start. But these scandals risk derailing that narrative, leaving the party vulnerable to attacks from both the Conservatives and their own disillusioned supporters. If Rachel Reeves is forced to resign, it would be a devastating blow to Starmer's leadership. Even if she survives, her diminished credibility will hang over Labour's economic policies, making it harder for the party to govern effectively. Meanwhile, the backlash over diesel taxes and immigration failures continues to grow, threatening to erode public trust. As these scandals continue to unfold, one thing is clear. Labour's honeymoon period is over. The choices they make in the coming weeks will determine whether they can recover or whether this marks the beginning of their downfall.